Alright, this is my DBX10 conversion to a wider track. Here we have the ZTX10, which is the trudgy with the wide track like the ZMT10 on the left, and on the right you can see the nylon hubs. We have the DBX10 with the shorter track. I don't understand why they ever put a short track. Alright, it is a DBX10. It was the brushed version. I made it brushless. Ran it a few times. It was an animal. Ran it with a Hobbywing SC8. You could see it right there. First I ran it with a 5900 kV motor, and it was absolutely insane. It didn't break. It held up real well. I did a Mod 1 conversion with a 40 tooth. Same thing on this one, the ZTX10. Did a Mod 1 conversion with a 40 tooth. But when I was doing the DBX one, I had the weirdest chassis. I don't know. I had separate pieces for the front and the back, but yet when you look at it, they're both the same wheelbase. I don't understand. The only difference is it's here in the front. Well, we're going to change that today. We're going to take the stuff from here and put it here. Now, I am not going to mess with the shock towers. I'm going to keep that shock tower there and this one here. But what I'm going to try to do is change the lower control arm, leave the hub, axles, upper control arm, and tie rod. Let's see how that goes. Same thing here. This is going to get the shorter track. I have something planned for this, but this one definitely needs a wide track. It's great, whatever it is, DBX10. I don't know, one of those dirt trucks, but it needs a wide track. I don't understand. They got all this great look. They have the parts right here. All they had to do was put it right here. I love these nylon hubs. These are not the nylon hubs, not the plastic, the nylon. Now, let me get busy and I'll get back to you when I'm done with the front. Okay, removed all the pieces off the front end of the ZTX10. I have my right side pile there, my left side pile there. Already pulled the axle out. I'm going to do the same thing here. Need a tripod. Alright, it comes right out. Because I want to keep these nylon hubs on the DBX10. They're there for a reason, and I want to keep them there. So, just going to pull the pin out of here. I need a new tabletop. Come on, pin. Get out, pin. Did it go out? Nope. It will. And here we go. Axle's gonna come right out. Take two. Axle's gonna come right out. Axle is gonna come right out. Okay, the axle will come out. Alright, I got the right side stripped down on the DBX10. Now let's look at our parts and see where our ZTX DBX10 pile, we're going to need the axle. Okay. We're going to need the lower arm. We're going to need the tie rod. We're going to need the upper arm with the other piece. These are all the same. I don't know, all the trucks use those. And we're going to need one of these. Let's compare it to the DBX10. And they're exactly the same. It's like GM and Ford. A Mercury's a Ford. And yada yada yada. Okay, so now I'll get these parts on here. And remember, gotta separate this hub, put the long axle in there because we want to keep the white one on the DBX10. One note, if you're gonna attempt this, just loosen the bumper like that. Take the screws out. I put them right over there. Also, you see the sway bar. It's gonna match up with the new arm. Isn't that amazing? The way they engineer these things. Also, please like and subscribe so I could get more viewers and more followers, because this is my own stuff. ZD Racing didn't call me and say, hey, we need you to modify a DBX10 to a wider footprint. They're my ideas, and they do it, because the majority of these RC cars, like WL Toys, Red Cat Racing for sure, DHK, they swap parts in and out. They're not going to create and design and run a billion parts. They use the same parts in their new and their old vehicles. So like and subscribe. This way I get known enough that I could get a good workshop. I could have a camera stand, and I don't have to stop and start. Okay, got the right side done in the front. Now there is a difference. Now you want to keep the left side assembled because you're going to find, you know, which hole do the upper arms go in and things like that. So as you can see, that's the right side, the long arms. So left with the short. I did this in another video, but I'll show you guys. That's the difference in length. Let's get the good old ruler out. Let's move it over a little. Alright, for the millimeter, folks, let's go hole to hole. We're looking at a 19-20 millimeter difference in length. For you inch guys, right around a little less than an inch, but almost an inch. Alright, let me finish this up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the parts on the left side of the ZTX10 because I don't want too many things lying around. So all that has to go on the ZTX10. Alright, the right side of the ZTX is done. So I know what a lot of you are saying. Gee, you're making a buggy with big tires. True, same chassis, same gearboxes, but there's too many things that you have to swap around, especially for the ZTX. The flip body support, like on this vehicle, would have had to change the shock towers, change the body post. I mean, it's a lot easier and faster just to swap out the arms. I know, same thing with the buggy. Oh, you could have made the MT10 a buggy. Yeah, I could have done that. But again, body posts, the two body posts as opposed to the four. The shocks are different. I mean, on the buggy, the front shocks are shorter. I went through that. Same thing on the DBX. You don't want to lose those nice shocks that are on there for these shocks. So, you know, it depends how close they are, and then you just might miss something. Alright, so I gotta finish this up, and I gotta start on the back. Okay, the ZTX10 stripped down. Got the parts over there. Now, gotta strip down the DBX10. I think my issue with the front has to do with the hubs, those wide hubs, and the axle ends. I might swap the axle ends out. See if that makes a difference. But we'll do that later. Alright, these are the two axles. The longer one is from the ZTX10. The shorter one is from the DBX10. Now what happened was, I just put it complete like this into the DBX with the old DBX hubs, and I was getting binding. I wouldn't get the suspension travel that I needed. On the ZTX, the shorter axle, I wasn't having a problem. But let's take a look. This one is shorter and it has a different end. And this was in the ZTX10. This one was in the DBX10. So these two axles I'm gonna have to switch. Alright? This axle is going in the DBX10. This is going in the ZTX10 because I put the shorter suspension arms. Now this axle will have to go into the ZTX10, and that axle will have to go into the DBX10 because to get rid of the binding issue, because they're identified with the hubs. If I probably would have moved them with the hubs, I think we wouldn't have had a problem. But let's see what happens. Maybe I'll try that first with the hubs. If that doesn't work, then I'm just going to switch these axle ends. Okay, I made a swap of the axle ends. This axle end has to stay with this hub, even though I changed to the longer axle. Here, let me show you. Okay, that's the longer axle. Now the travel, I'm going to try to show you. Alright, let me do this. It's not going to come out right. Now we have the travel where the shock will bottom out. Alright? Before, it would never bottom out the shock. It would only stop right about there. It's hard for me to do. Just give me a second. Alright, I got a better angle. So, like I said, this axle stays with this hub. And now, watch the shock, it'll bottom out. That's what you want. Now we got the full travel and we have no binding inside. So even though this axle is from the ZTX10, this end has to be switched, and this is from the DBX10. Now, if you're gonna do this, it's not for the novice. You gotta have some RC experience, because if you just put the axle straight in, you're gonna have the binding problem. But if you swap these ends, you're not gonna have a problem. I already swapped them, and this is the one that's going back into the ZTX10. and then I'll do the other side, and then we'll look at everything completed. Alright, again, it might be getting confusing. Alright, now you have to take the pin out. You gotta have a tweezer. So take the pin out. Almost got it. Hard to do this with one hand. Okay. Now here's the two separate axles. Larger ones, DBX10. That's the end of it. Shorter one, DBX10. That's the end of it. What you're gonna have to do after you get the pins out, this one is gonna attach here, won't be any problem, and this one will attach here. Then you'll get the right suspension geometry where the shock will bottom out. This is the problem that I was having with the binding inside by the diff case. It was because of these axle lids. So let me put them together and we'll go from there. Another thing, there's a little ball inside there. I'm gonna zoom in. Let's see if it'll zoom. There's a little cup in there. Don't lose that. Whatever you do, don't lose it. Don't lose the pins. Now I did the conversion with my MT10 to shorter axles so I could put those wider suspension arms on my B10E. I didn't have this problem. It's only with the DBX because of these knuckles and the axles are more heavy duty. Here, I already did the swap. As you can see, there is a difference. This needs to go into the DBX and you could use the long axles. See, I switched them. This goes with the DBX10. This is like the most crucial part. It's a little bit more advanced, you know, in modding these things. And, you know, some people might get to that point in the front, oh, I'm breaking axles, this and that. I'm telling you the right way to do this. Now, that's how wide a DBX10 should be. Alright? Then we'll get it on the table. I just want to show you from the top how wide it is now. I'm gonna let you know that you're gonna have to do these the regular DBX axles. Let me get to where the hole is. Just give me a second. Alright, there you go. There's the hole. Now watch this. Okay. Now the whole axle, even right there, slides in and out. Now, if it's wobbling, it's going to restrict travel. So what you're going to have to do is get these washers, wherever they are, right there. I'm tired doing this. 2 of them. And what you're going to do is you're going to put them in. Put them on like that. Put the other one on. And you're going to get the pin in. I could do this with one hand. Unbelievable. Okay. Now you're not going to have that problem with the axle sliding in. And you'll have space there for when it compresses. I'm trying. Okay, so now we can compress. Alright, so make sure you put these washers in the front, so this way the suspension compresses correctly. I should say cue the music. That's my version of the DBX that I always wanted it to be, with the wide control arms. These tires, oh man, what tires you got on there? These tires are Red Cat Racing, the Contol tires. They fit on here nice. The original tires, I blew out the hexes when I was running 3S and a 5900 kV motor. So the hexes just got eaten away. But now it has a really nice aggressive stance. I fixed that problem. Let's go to the back. Everything made it up, except I had to do that, change the axles around. Here we go, here's the back. There you go, nice and wide. ZD Racing, make a wide DBX10. They're making that other brand wide. Another company made their truck longer. You want to keep the DBX going. A lot of people are buying them, but it's too narrow. It needs to be wide. I mean, I love it. I think it's great now. Look at this. And put some good tires. Put tires like that. These are the tires that should be on it. I'll zoom in. That's my MT10. I did the conversion, just shorter axles on. You see the difference? That's a regular MT10 on the right. That's my short control arm MT10 with those wide tires. That thing's gonna be awesome on the dirt. But this is gonna be a killer truck. I don't know where these engineers come from. All right, let's toss this on the floor. Again, let's do the movie magic, zoom in. All right, we're in a helicopter. The truck is racing. And we're taking the video. Look how wide this truck is. Wish I had another one to show you the difference. But let's go to this other fella. Here we go. The ZMT10. The one I converted from the long control arms, which I put on the DBX10. Now, it's more scale, I could say. It looks good with the body on. Always a little tight getting these bodies on. There we go. Plenty of suspension travel. It's always nice to look at these things from the back. There we go. Let's take this off. There you go. Nice. Not too bad at all. It's like a buggy with different tires. Alright, that's it. If you're gonna attempt this conversion, please don't be a novice. Please have some technical skill. You have to deal, like I said, with the front axles. The outer axles have to be exchanged with each other. You get them both together, pull the pins out, use a tweezer, and put it on the other axle, and then you'll get your suspension travel back on the DBX10. Okay, remember, like and subscribe. Manufacturers out there, I'm retired, man. This is my hobby. Give me your stuff. I'll test it. I'll take it apart. I'll make it better. Until then, later.